Hello, everyone. In the last lesson, we introduced the concept of electrical main wiring, its functions and basic requirements. You have already gained a preliminary understanding and mastery of the important application of electrical main wiring in power systems. How is electrical main wiring presented in actual work? What are the different types of electrical main wiring due to different connection forms? What do on-site engineering technicians use to analyze electrical main wiring? Let's now study the content of this lesson together. The basic forms of electrical main wiring. Here, you need to master the basic forms of electrical main wiring through learning. I hope everyone can analyze and determine the types of electrical main wiring. Cultivate a good sense of standardization and pay attention to developing a careful and serious work attitude. The key and difficult point of this lesson is the basic forms of electrical main wiring first. Let me introduce what an electrical main wiring diagram is. As shown in the right figure, we can clearly see the power supply, incoming lines, load outgoing lines, and two bus bars, as well as some important electrical equipment such as transformers, circuit breakers, and disconnecting switches. How can we tell? The circuit diagram of electrical main wiring is also called an electrical main wiring diagram here. It is a single-line wiring diagram that uses standardized equipment text and graphic symbols connected in sequence according to their functions. The electrical main wiring diagram is an important basis for electrical operators to perform various operations and handle accidents. On-site staff use the electrical main wiring diagram to design it in the early stage. Connect equipment according to it during later factory construction. Perform simulated operations during equipment operation, and observe the operating status of equipment, all presented and completed through the electrical main wiring diagram. What are the drawing principles for electrical main wiring diagrams? Here, we must first note that primary equipment or component in the electrical main wiring diagram must use standardized graphic symbols and text codes. According to national standards for electrical symbols, they cannot be drawn arbitrarily here. A good sense of standardization is required. Let's take a look at the graphics and text symbols of commonly used primary equipment. For example, a generator is represented by the letter G, and its graphic symbol is as shown in the figure. A transformer is represented by the letter T. Here, double winding, three winding, and auto transformers have different graphic symbols. Switchgear, a circuit breaker, is represented by the letters QF. A disconnecting switch is represented by QS. A fuse is represented by the letters F, U. A reactor is represented by the letter L. A surge arrestor is represented by the letter F. Drawout, busbar, cable termination. All electrical equipment has fixed letter representations and fixed graphic symbols. Therefore, we can clearly see which electrical equipment is used in the electrical main wiring diagram. Secondly, as shown in the right figure, we can see that in the electrical main wiring diagram, switchgear such as circuit breakers and disconnecting switches are drawn in the open position. This ensures that after the electrical equipment is actually installed, its initial state must be open. This can prevent misoperations during power operation that could affect the safety of personnel and equipment. However, the main wiring mimic diagram in the control room shows the actual operating status of the equipment. Finally, electrical main wiring diagrams are generally represented by single-line diagrams, but sometimes for partial diagrams where the three-phase wiring is not ident, a three-line diagram can be drawn locally, such as for current transformers. When drawing electrical main wiring diagrams, not only must they be drawn according to standards, but attention must also be paid to the safety and reliability of the power system. It is essential to develop a meticulous and serious work attitude. What are the forms of electrical main wiring? Let us study together on actual work electrical main wiring can be divided into forms with bus bars and
without bus bars.
based on whether there are bus bars. Wiring forms with bus bars generally have a higher number of incoming and outgoing lines, more than 4, which is conducive to installation and expansion. As shown in the left figure, you can see 2 bus bars and a total of 6 incoming and outgoing lines. Wiring forms without bus bars use less switchgear and occupy less space. This is suitable for power plants and substations with few incoming and outgoing lines and no plans for expansion or development.
As shown in the right figure, this wiring form without bus bars has only 2 incoming and outgoing lines. We can see that the switch equipment used is less than that in wiring with bus bars. The basic forms of electrical main wiring can be specifically divided into the following types. Wiring forms with bus bars are divided in single bus bar wiring and double bus bar wiring based on the number of bus bars. Based on different operating characteristics, single bus bar wiring can be divided into simple single bus bar wiring, single bus bar sectionalized wiring, single bus bar with bypass bus bar wiring, and single bus bar sectionalized with bypass wiring. Double bus bar wiring can be divided into double bus bar wiring, double bus bar 3 sectionalized wiring, double bus bar 4 sectionalized wiring, double bus bar with bypass bus bar wiring, and 3/2 breaker wiring, also known as 1.5 breaker wiring here. Wiring without bus bars can be divided into bridge wiring, ring wiring, unit wiring, and extended unit wiring. In subsequent content, we will introduce the concepts, characteristics, and switching operation processes of various types of electrical main wiring one by one. In this section, we have provided a basic introduction to the concept of electrical main wiring diagrams, the basic principles of drawing electrical main wiring diagrams, and the basic forms of electrical main wiring. I hope that after class, students will review the key content of this lesson by answering the following 3 exercises. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for listening.